until it's like that. And then what's the mute button? I want to mute.
It's yeah, you push the volume control.
Okay. He was doing it. Okay, so now I'm on, and then it's already streaming, so people can hear me now, right?
Should be it.
Okay, great.
I'll test in muted mode just so I can hear you, but not intending to go around long enough.
Okay. Can you hear me? Testing? 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 1, 2, 3, testing. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. No? I can never hear anybody, a person next to me, so. Let's see if we have anybody. Can you remind me, how do I see if I have any viewers? I have 2 viewers. Maybe the viewers could send me a message and tell me if you hear me. I could ask Brian to sign on and see if he hears me.
Make sure that we're getting stuff.
Right.
As soon as that engine turned off, they're coming out. I spilled cranberry juice on me, so I guess I have to buy a shirt. I wish you had said to us, you know, and he was a baby girl.
Thank you, Tina. Very much obliged. Good to see you're watching. Tina Blaze watching, and she says she can hear me. Fantastic. Okay, so here's what we have today in the Crystal Snowflake 2019 final. On sheet C, we have the C event with Yellow Rocks is Philadelphia, Team McMahon. And with the Red Rocks, we have Diane Muldowney. On sheet B is the A event. We have with Red Rocks, we have Team Longnecker from Cape Cod. And with the Yellow Rocks, we have Team Orr from Green Mountain. And in the B event, we have Trish Ryan, Nutmeg, versus Team Thwick of Norfolk. And Norfolk has the Red Rocks, and Trish Ryan has Yellow Rocks. If you missed it, the D event was won by Nada Leslie. And we currently have some noise in the warm room because they're celebrating and having a beer. And I'm not sure. Let's see, who else do we have there? We have the losers of the D event, which is a team split with Schenectady and Nutmeg, headed by Deadly Dorothy, also in the warm room. So they just lost the C event semifinal earlier today. Okay, so let's see what we have going on the ice. Looks like we're just in the first end. So no scores yet. Figure out my screens here. Aha. All right, so far in the B event, I know Tina doesn't like me taking it off the multi-view for very long. In the B event, we have red sitting 1. Again, that's the team from Cape Cod sitting 1. And we are on the first skips rock. Beautiful takeout. Fortunately, I don't have a list of all the names of the teams in front of me, which would be helpful. So let's see, I'm going to make myself a note here. Muldowney red. And oh good, Elf is here. I just heard Elf. Nobody's sitting next to me. My mother's here.
Blue jacket.
My mother's here and she's going to come sit next to me and watch. Hi Mom, come on in. It was her idea to come and watch today. Philly. Philly yellow. Sheet B was Cape Cod with the red rocks, and I already forgot. Green Mountain yellow, right. We have Trish with yellow. And who was Trish playing again? Take another look. Trish is playing Norfolk. Red. Okay, now I got all my sheets straight. So it looks like in the A event, the skips have been trading single rocks. This red is very well undercover. Oh, great. Almost got that great tick off of the yellow for yellow to try to take out the one sitting red. Unfortunately, red has hammer here, so it looks like red's set up to get 2 on sheet B. And again, red is Cape Cod on sheet B. We played them yesterday. I really enjoyed being in the house with Martina, very nice woman. One thing I found, being a first-time skip at a Bonspiel, I mentioned this to all of the skips that I have played against, and they were all very supportive. Martina in particular. So Martina is about to throw her final rock.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I could also give you a ride home, but I am not leaving anytime soon either.
To get 2.
I also live on my way home.
Over on sheet C. Oh, I don't have a camera for far C.
I kind of always forgets that. I was like, yes, I live on the new painted border.
They're kicking rocks. It looked like it was 1 yellow to me. And that would be 1 for Philly, but let's wait and see what comes up on the scoreboard. Martina has a draw for 2, and it looks like it's going to get there. The sweepers are on it, and it's in. That's 2 rocks for Cape Cod in the first end, in the B event, sheet B. Or, sorry, A event, sheet B. And here we all come back. So it was one yellow on sheet C for Maggie McMahon. Nadia throwing her first league rock. And she puts it in the house.
Because I'm going to be putting up Christmas tree ornaments and I have Mark and Linda now.
I didn't see what happened over on sheet B, and the score isn't up yet. But it looks like yellow either hogged or sent their first rock through. And red has put up a nice corner guard, and they're looking to draw around it. And that looks pretty successful to me. It's just got to curl a little more. Yeah, good job. It curled. All right. So Norfolk. Those are Norfolk's red rocks on sheet B. Trisha's calling to come down and sit on that one. So on sheet C, it looks like Muldowney's lead rocks are nowhere in sight, so something happened there. Nadia's throwing to guard her first rock in the house. And it looks like she's going to do that successfully with a high guard. Not quite guarded though. That's not so guarded hit for Marianne Rajaman. Looks a little wide from this perspective. And she might get a little piece of it, but I don't think so. Oh, yes, she did. Good job, Marianne. And she splits her own out as well.
They are in Middletown. So they're right in
What's that, Mom?
Eric have a baby?
Dave Bykowski has a baby. You should go meet him. He's very sweet.
What, the baby?
Yes, the baby.
That's the one who I thought was Eric. That's Dave Bykowski.
I told you. I told you I thought you might be thinking of Dave Bykowski. Yep. Eric has a beard. He has a dark beard. And he was the bartender last night.
Dave Bykowski.
Mm-hmm. Dave Bykowski, that's right. And his wife, Danielle Tapper, who is one of the chairs of this event. Okay, sheet B. So Tina, I bet you're happy that I'm keeping it on the multi-view. Tina gave me feedback yesterday that the Friday evening event, we had switched views too much, and she just really wanted it kept on the multi-view. I'm going to take a look over at sheet B, though, because that's the game I'm most interested in since it's the A event. And since I'm currently a big fan of Matina, the Cape Cod skip. It looks like Green Mountain is sitting one. After lead rocks. And yellow has hammer. Pam Stefani hogs her rock. Pretty clean house here on C, just one yellow guard. And Diane is thinking she decides she wants a biter, the top of the house, or a draw in. And Diane's second, I'm actually not familiar with this woman because I don't think she's a Nutmeg member. She must be from Ardsley. It is Karen Lucky. We have a lot of mixed Nutmeg and other place teams here today, so this is one example of an Ardsley Nutmeg team. And that's a beautiful draw, just a little past tee, unfortunately. But it is pretty well buried. Meanwhile, on sheet B, Cape Cod, but the red stones just had a miss. And yellow is sitting 2 unguarded with hammer. It's a nice position to be in. It looks like from that broom, maybe they're going to be looking to either guard or put another one in. Let's see what happens. It's coming in too hot for a guard. Looks like a tap back. Good choice. All right. Trish Ryan on sheet B got one point in the first end and now is defending against hammer. And right now, red's looking good with a split house, counting 2. And unfortunately, it looks like they failed to take out one of those red rocks and just tapped it back. Luckily, it is not undercover. Cape Cod managed to get one of those yellow rocks out. They're still sitting 2 with hammer. And again, yellow is Green Mountain. And Matina's last name is Longnecker. Actually, you know what? I don't even... No, I'm sorry. It's Crystal Longnecker. It's called Team Longnecker, even though Longnecker is not the skip. So that was confusing me. Matina's last name is Heisler. Okay. Perhaps they had a last-minute skip change after they signed up. Looks like we now have 4 counting rocks. Matina has a situation on her hands. Let's look at this near B. 4 counting yellows with yellow having hammer. And it looks like we're on the last vice rock for red. Matina looking to move some things around. And this looks good. She's definitely going to move something. Unfortunately, she got the top one and couldn't double the 2 in the center. And unfortunately, she didn't even get rid of that one because it's still biting out on the outside. But no longer a guard. And far away from the center, so... Boy, she must be sweating a little bit right now. Over on sheet C, Diane's counting 1, not buried, a little bit buried. And Maggie, who I played yesterday evening, terrific shot maker, is about to throw her first rock. And from that broom, looks like she may be just coming down to push it back. Looks a little bit wide to me. and maybe a little bit hot too. Let's see if it slows down. Unfortunate. Oh, it's slowing down. It's coming back. And it is going to touch that red rock. And it pushed it out to the outer rings. And now yellow, which is Team Philadelphia, Team McMahon, sitting one with hammer. Over on sheet B, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow counters going into Skip's rocks. The Skips are looking at doubling opportunities. Martina Heisler is heading down to throw her first rock. On sheet A, red has managed to count 3 or 4 with hammer. Also a concerning situation for Trish Ryan. Vice Aaron Doucette's in the house. Thanks, sweetie. Brian just got my message to check if he could hear me. Looks like Diane missed her shot to take out Maggie's counting rock. Now Maggie has a chance to guard it or put a second one in. Meanwhile, on sheet B, they push some yellows around and left an unguarded red to at least outcount 2 of the biters. But this is still a very bad situation for Martina Heisler, given that yellow has hammer. And again, yellow on sheet B is Green Mountain. All right, so let's see. Sheet A has another red rock coming in. And it's just a guard. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this near perfect shot made by Maggie. That is not surprising. Sheet C, Maggie McMahon just made a perfect button shot
with her final rock.
With her final rock. And it looks like Diane Muldowney is about to throw her hammer. Unfortunately, Maggie's perfect shot is covering the pin, and it is half buried. So if Diane can come down with a low weight and push back Maggie's rock off the pin, then she can get one. I don't see any weird doubles here that could give her 3 because, well, maybe. It's not guarded that much, but I don't, given the broom, she's not going for a double. Unfortunately, this is so many sheets to keep track of at once. I didn't see what happened on A, but it's possible that red got 2 because that looked like the score the last time I looked.
It's going to hit something.
This looks a little more up weight than I expected. I fear that if she catches that rock, she's going to spill anyway. And that's what happens. So, looks like yellow has stolen 1. Good job, Maggie. Yes, she did. And she's going to one them to death. This is what happened to me yesterday. I was getting one to death. Maggie is so accurate. You say, well, she just doesn't make any mistakes. It's really tough. All right, so sheet B, final rock, and
she has more than 20 years.
Yellow is sitting, not final rock, but yellow is sitting 3. This is red's last rock. 1 more yellow rock to come. And it looks like she has chosen a low hit weight. One, and that was counterproductive. It just made 1, 2, 3, 4 counters instead of the 3 that they had. So now yellow's looking at drawing for 5. And if they can hit the red on the outside, no, I think they can't because the second red biter may be out counting the yellow biter. So I don't think that they can get any more. Mom, you want to take a look at this? They can't get any more by hitting the red in the corner
They can't.
because of this other red biter.
Right.
But from the screen, from the overhead screen, we can't tell who's.
So is it a yellow rock that's being shot? All they need to do is put it down on the button.
All they needed to do was put it on the button, but it looks like they didn't even shoot it. That last rock to come in was a red rock. Did you even see a yellow rock get thrown? It's possible when you're sitting that many rocks that you don't want to mess things up, but I'm highly confused as to why she didn't throw her rock. Yellow had hammer. Hey, did you see that? Did yellow not throw their rock? Did I miss it?
It hogs.
Oh, it hogged. That's why I missed it. I was on the house view. It hogged. It didn't come into play. But did she throw that away on purpose because she didn't want to mess up?
4 good ones?
She had 4. She was counting 4, and she may not have. Yeah, on B. Oh, you weren't watching B. I'm gonna have to go find out what happened. Yeah, so yellow was sitting 4. Hey guys, I missed the last yellow rock, the hammer. What happened to it?
We missed it too.
I thought she didn't throw it. Like she was counting 4 and she could have drawn for 5, and I was waiting for it and it never came. And I wondered if she just decided maybe she didn't want to mess up the house.
We'll see when Meg puts up the score what it was.
Yeah, no.
But I was looking at the screen. I would have seen it come in, and then suddenly they're clearing rocks. So I don't know. I mean, I guess there are situations where you.
Explains Meg's slightly confused look when she looked at us because I didn't see the shot either. They put up 4. So.
Yeah, so she didn't.
Maybe they burned it.
Maybe they burned
She
it.
did look frustrated when she turned around. So I mean,
Yeah, maybe they burned it.
Yeah.
That must have
that would
happened.
explain it.
Hey, Mom, the baby is leaving, so this is your only opportunity to meet the baby.
Yes.
On purpose?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, so the current theory, nobody saw the shot. The current theory on B is that maybe it was burned.
Okay, right.
They had an opportunity for 5.
It's a new jacket. Right, every jacket was burned down.
All right, great start for Green Mountain on sheet B. I haven't been following Green Mountain's tour through this tournament because I didn't play them. The baby is 3 months. So let's see, what else do we have going on? Early in the third end on all sheets. It does look like sheet A wound up with 2 red. That would be 2 for Norfolk. So the current scores are 2 Norfolk. Norfolk is up 1 in the B event, sheet A, in the third. Green Mountain is up 3 with the Yellow Rocks on sheet B against Cape Cod. And on sheet C, we have Diane Muldowney. I believe she is red, and she's down 2 against Maggie McMahon from Philadelphia. Wow! Sheet B just had a spectacular, I don't even know what you call that. It was a fall on delivery, but it was
It's a stomach run.
it was a stomach run.
She let go of the thing perfectly.
She sure did. You know, we had an interesting shot yesterday against Maggie where one of her teammates fell, and she was supposed to throw a hit on one side, but then accidentally threw a perfect draw to the button on the other side after she fell. Incredible. And I think that one may have ended up being the counting rock at the end.
That was definitely
Like, how can you fall and
definitely a stomach slide. all
send
the
it
way.
the other way around the ice and make it a perfect draw? I guess stopped clocks are right twice a day, right? Let's see. Okay, we've got clear to guard on sheet C. To sit 2 yellow. Again, yellow is Maggie McMahon's team from Philadelphia. Let's see. Let's look at.
Have a C showing.
No, the far C camera is out. We normally would, but it's out for some reason. On sheet A.
Now, who's from Cape Cod?
Cape Cod is the team wearing the maroon jackets
On
sheet B. Mm-hmm.
And are they leading?
They are not. They are the Red Rocks, and they just gave up. Well, I guess it wasn't a huge end, but yeah, it was. They gave up 4 rocks in the last end.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And it could have been 5 because yellow had hammer, and that's the stone that I didn't see come down the ice, so we were guessing maybe it was burned. The only report that I heard is that the shooter looked very flustered. So either it hogged or...
No. Which one is this? Okay.
This is sheet B. This is the video that's on deck. This is the one that's currently streaming. But I could put any... I don't have far C, but I could put far B on deck, for instance. And then send it over here. So now far B is being streamed.
Okay.
But people generally like me to keep it on the multi-view, so because not everybody's interested in what's going on sheet B, they might be interested, or they might be interested in something else. So I'll put back the multi-view.
So which do they see at home?
They see this screen at home, and this is a screen that I'm looking at just to see if I want to put it on. Okay. Maggie's thinking very carefully about her next move on sheet C. She's thinking about either taking a guard or putting another one in the house. She's gonna put another one in the house, maybe guard the center actually. She does not have hammer, so she has two counters, and I guess she's just looking to guard those. That's the right move. Again, that looks too wide to me. Possible because I'm not sitting on the center line that I don't see the line very well, but it looks very, very wide, and it's going to be instead pushing. Oh no, it pushed the red rock in instead of. Yeah, I think that shot was just a big miss. I don't think it was a hit. I don't think it was intended to be a hit. Okay, so Morikaki's in the hack. And looks like she has access to bumping back the shot rock. And unfortunately, the prior shot, unfortunately for Team McMahon, excuse me, the prior shot moved red into position number 2. So if Mora makes this shot, there'll be 1-2. And she manages to bump it over, but not out.
Does she stay in?
She did stay in, yes. Since I don't have an overhead view for B right now, I can't tell who's sitting. But my guess would be that yellow is still sitting 1. And it's impossible to get to. Nadia's waving at us through the glass, all smiles. Nadia is the lead on the Philadelphia team. Okay, on the other sheets. Sheet B, our main event, we have red with hammer. Red is Cape Cod, and they are sitting 2 going into the first skips rocks. And it looks like they're going to be calling to move that, either sit on. That broom tells me they're going to try to sit on the counter. Maggie's first rock's coming up on sheet C, and she's choosing to take out one of the reds. As I said before, I can't tell who's counting, so this may indicate that red is counting. Looks light to me. Very light. I could have been wrong. It looks like she was actually guarding to protect a draw on that side. So she's just trying to take her one.
Before she ones them to death.
That's right. My mom says that's the way she does it. She ones them to death. She's not trying for 2. She's just trying to one them to death. This tournament has been so much fun. One thing Jane Murray told me coming in, or maybe it was Kitty. No, it was Jane. Jane Murray told me coming in is that I should see what I can learn from these skips who've been playing for a long time. Maggie, actually, yesterday, a couple times I was in the house and I just had no idea what to call, and she would tell me what to call. One time I took her advice, and one time I decided to do something more daring, which worked out. She was surprised. She says, "That's very aggressive." And but it had to be because she had all these ones on the board, but it worked out, and I ended up getting 3 that end. Got myself back in the game, but ultimately lost. Okay, look at this. Diane Muldowney is just gonna tap up Maggie's rock, unfortunately, probably into the second position, and I'm not 100% sure what Diane was trying to do. It's possible she was trying to tick her own red rock towards the center, but went narrow. Oh, I guess I can see sheet C better over here. So I was looking with my own eyes on sheet C, and you can't really tell. But right now, yellow is sitting 1, and red sitting 2, 3. Unless
Here goes Maggie.
2 rocks. And here goes Maggie. What is Maggie trying to do? She is probably trying to guard the run back that Diane just tried.
She doesn't have hammer.
She does not have hammer, no. So she's just trying to protect her 1. And that is a super guard. She protected that rung back well. It just got over the hog line.
Wanting him to death.
Yeah, wanting him to death. And it looks like it's going to be awfully difficult for Diane to do that promotion. And Maggie successfully blocked many of her shots. Now, I definitely ran into this problem with Maggie yesterday. That by the time I got to my skips rocks, I didn't have any good choices. with one rock sitting in the house, one of her rocks sitting in the house, I ended up having no choices. So let's see what Diane decides to do. Over on sheet A, there's a fairly clean house. Actually, two top biters for red. who has hammer.
Heavy.
Okay, so Diane has chosen to try to tick off of her own rock, but she threw it too wide or too heavy or both. Ooh, unless she hits the outside of it in, but let's see what's going to happen.
Whoa.
Nope, she didn't hit it at the right angle, and it is still 1 yellow. She just moved it back in the house.
Okay.
I thought she was going to try to tick off the inside and then roll in, but she was either wide or heavy, and she hit the outside of it instead. So again, another one for Maggie McMahon. Diane must be feeling similar to what I felt yesterday. Saying, well, this game certainly isn't over. At any end, we could get 2, 3.
Right.
But yesterday, I started feeling a loathing of having the hammer. I just wished I didn't have it anymore. I thought maybe I'd be more successful if I didn't have the hammer.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Julie. She said good night.
Regards to the Malkins. We'll tell them.
Regards to the Malkins. Mom, would you like some quiche?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna get myself some.
Get me one there.
I will. Alrighty. So let's see what happens. What's happening on sheet B? Red is about to throw their hammer shot. Okay. Red's about to throw their hammer shot, and they are already sitting 1, and it looks like they have a partially blocked draw for 2. And Matina's getting in the hack.
Great. So what I'm doing, yeah, put your stuff down.
This looks good.
Oh, it looks
So good. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm still on here. I'm talking about the quiche looking really good. So my mother came to our dinner last night, and everybody was very, very impressed with the gentlemanly service we received. The guys in their bow ties, taking our orders and serving everybody at the same time. They kind of had a little act going on. It was very cute. My mom just ate this stuff up. And this morning she asked me what restaurant catered it, and I told her it wasn't catered. The men actually cooked the dinner. She was amazed. Here you go, Mom.
Oh, great. Yeah, certainly is appropriate.
Okay, what happened while I was gone? Did Matina make it?
No.
She didn't. Okay. So they took 1 for red. In the 4th. 1 for red in the 4th, and it looks like they got 2 in the 3rd, so now they're coming back in the lead. And unfortunately, sheet A gets the least commentary because it can't see it as well. Yellow, who doesn't... Oh, it looks like the 3rd end was blanked. Yellow has a beautifully protected shot right on the button. Somebody must have drawn it there while I wasn't paying attention. So let's see, who had hammer after the 2nd? Yellow had hammer after the 2nd, and they blanked, so they still have hammer. I'm just taking a look at who's watching us. Jeffrey Carruthers says he's looking at sheet A. What's the history of the Crystal Snowflake? Is it always held at Nutmeg? That's a question from Daniel, excuse me, Villa Gomez. I actually do not know the history of the Crystal Snowflake because I've been at this club for, this is my 8th year at the club. I don't jump over to the commentary very often. Let's see. So somebody's watching Sheet A. That's Jeffrey Carruthers. So maybe I'll try to talk more about what's going on Sheet A and give their house now that I know. Is anybody else watching any particular sheet? If you are watching a particular sheet, please let me know in the commentary. Okay. So let's see. Sheet A. Yellow with hammer has just accidentally promoted red in the house, but not very far. They've also successfully guarded their shot rock. Looks like they're about to start skip stones on sheet A. And again, on sheet A, yellow is Trish Ryan from Nutmeg, and red is Team Thwick from Norfolk.
Without the college kids and without juniors and
I can definitely ask around the club to see if anybody has Crystal Snowflake history. You actually have to realize in club history that Nutmeg was not always at this rink. They were at a different rink when they started. Okay. So on sheet A, red just failed to remove the yellow rock with a hit. And yellow's looking at their next move. Looks like sheet A have two red guards. And yellow's going to probably look to draw another one in there and outcount the red. Sheet B, they're playing a hit game. With yellow having hammer. Keeping a very clean house. Yellow again fails to draw in. Too narrow. Not too narrow, actually. That would have been a great line. They were too light. And the good news here is that this is a good house. If red wanted to try to take out that yellow rock, they might actually be lined up to hit the front yellow and send it back, but because their other red is in the way now, there's just nothing there. They have to try to go and draw down to tap it. And let's see if it happens. That red rock is on its way. One sweeper's on it, meaning oh, they didn't. They were going for that tap back, but it was not lined up as oh nope. Guess the lineup just wasn't there. Now yellow has hammer, and they're going to be looking at. Looks like they're going to go for the draw instead of the take. Wow. Draw down to that yellow, get to the inside of it, and they might get two. The feed is paused. No video. Never mind, it's okay now. That's good. That's good.
Whoa, that was. Took out the red rock and left the yellow in the middle one.
On sheet B?
B. Yeah.
Yep, they're playing a hit game, so this is something you do to. Usually, you play hit games to be defensive when you have a lead. If you have the lead, Mom, and you don't have the hammer,
Yeah.
sometimes you want to play these hit games so that the only other team can only get one. They have nothing to hide behind. But the funny thing on sheet B is nobody's got a lead, so it's just one of those ends where you're pretty sure that if everybody makes their hits, that the team with hammer is going to get one. Sometimes as a skip, you set it up that way because you want to do it. Sometimes it just happens on its own because the lead misses a shot and they put it in the house instead of putting up a guard. The other team hits it, and there you go. It does make the end go very fast, so if you're ever concerned about time and running out of time to play 8 ends, hit games will make the game go very fast because, the stones are going so fast that the end takes no time at all. Okay, so I didn't see what happened on sheet A. I didn't see whether yellow got there too, but I think that was probably a pretty tough draw to make exactly right. They probably got one, but we'll see when the score comes up.
Okay, now the lead just switched in sheet 3. Shot rock is now red.
Sheet B continues on their hit game, just trading rocks. See, eventually, Mom, when they trade rocks like that, it goes forward, and you'll have a rock that's no longer counting.
Yeah, right.
And then that's going to be a guard, and then what?
Yeah, right.
But right now we're on lead rocks on sheet B in this hit game. Let's see if anybody misses. No misses yet. Martina gets her hit dead on. The next one, it looks like the next one may be a biter. Let's see near B. Oh, yeah, the next one is going to probably be a biter. And then the one after that won't be counting. So if Martina wanted to blank the end, all she'd have to do is hit the next rock, and then she'd be going the other way with hammer again. Oftentimes, blanking an end is better than taking one, especially if you happen to have hammer on an odd end. You'd rather have hammer on the even end if you're going to play 8 ends, so that you can have hammer in the last end. It's fun having my mom here next to me because I can explain to her these things. So I still have not seen the score go up for yellow. I'm looking at A. Do you know what happened on A? It looks like they put one up for red. How is that possible? Did yellow shoot themselves out? How did I miss that? I'm trying to pay attention to too many sheets.
That was outside.
Well, that's amazing because yellow was sitting 1 on sheet A, and they were trying to draw for 2 with their last rock. And then suddenly we see that red got 1, so they must have somehow drawn too heavy and split themselves out. I hate it when that happens. As a skip, there's just nothing worse. I did that yesterday, actually. I was sitting 1, I shot my second rock, and then suddenly Maggie was sitting 1. Well, that is unfortunate for Trish Ryan. All right, well, it looks like on sheet B, Martina Heisler is looking to blank by hitting the final yellow rock in this hit end. And she has successfully blanked, although it looked like her sweeper was trying to get her in. Oh, There are more rocks left. Never mind. I forgot that yellow had hammer. Never mind. So, yellow has the option of blanking or of taking one. It looks like they're gonna try to take their one. On sheet A, see if we have any more. The wrong color score was hung in N4 on A. Yellow did score one. So it looks like on sheet A they just hung the wrong score. Thank you, Jeffrey Carruthers, because that was very confusing to me how that could have happened. All right. Good to know. I could go and tap somebody on the shoulder and let them know. But they'll figure it out, I'm sure. Okay, given that broom on sheet B, it actually does look like they've decided to blank. What is this broom? That is a downweight shot right at the red.
They're going to tap the red in. They're not
I don't know why they. I'm very confused at what just happened on sheet B. Because yellow promoted red in to get one, and it looked almost like it was intentional. I mean, that was a very. They've been hitting all game successfully, and suddenly she threw something that was a down weight. So that was a steal of one for red in the fourth end on sheet B. And again, red is Cape Cod. Okay, so sheet A, let's see what's going on sheet A. Do we not have a far A camera? We do not have a far A camera, so it's very difficult to see. Sheet A has a whole lot of guards and one red rock in the house. And if we believe our viewer who says they hung the score wrong, which we do, red has hammer. And again, red is Norfolk against Nutmeg's Trish Ryan. Red looking to put a second rock in the house. I've noticed on Nutmeg Ice, sometimes you get one side of the sheet that's slower than the other side of the sheet, which makes it awfully difficult to get your draw weights correct, because you may be used to drawing on one side and you go do the same weight on the other side and it ends up being a guard. I can't say for sure if that's what's going on sheet A today, but sometimes when that happens, you end up getting a lot of guards, particularly on one side. These guards don't seem lopsided on sheet A though. Okay, sheet C. We just saw the hammer thrown on sheet C. It was a red rock. It looks like they may have gotten 4 or 5. Let me move to near C just to show you this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 red rocks. Looks to me, devices are taking a look. That would be a very big end, a very needed big end for Diane Muldowney, who has been getting wounded to death by Maggie McMahon of Philadelphia. I'll let you know how that works out later. Looks like they are going to get out the measuring device to find out whether red has 4 or 5. And it looks on sheet A like red did successfully get a second rock in the house. And now they're working on a third. But the third they're working on is just not going to get there. And it doesn't even look like it's going to be a productive guard. So Team Norfolk Hogs, their Vice Rock, looks like their last Vice Rock, on sheet A. Kathy Murphy up with her last Vice Rock on sheet A. Going to take out, hopefully roll. Oh, looks like a real nice shot. She takes out one red rock and spills herself. That's productive. They have not figured out that their scoreboard is wrong yet. So again, on sheet A, the score is actually 2 red to 2 yellow. Tie game. And the measure was in favor of yellow on sheet C. So that means Diane Muldowney gets 4. This game is looking so familiar to my game yesterday, except for we got 3 instead of 4. So it looks that now Diane is suddenly in the lead on sheet C by 1 point after the 4th end. Looks like sheet C is actually playing significantly slower than the other 2 sheets, so we have had this problem in a couple draws that we've only been able to play 7 ends on some sheets because of the time restriction. All right, on sheet A, looking to promote one of those red guards instead of drawing on the other side. Looks light to me, and it just moves guards around and creates a bigger wall, ever bigger wall. It can get comical at times. It is a very well guarded red rock. Okay, we're coming down to the last Vice Rock. Oh, excuse me, the first Vice Rock on sheet B. Red is sitting 1 without hammer. And it looks like they're going to be putting something top center.
Need water or anything?
No, I'm all set.
Okay. Can I get you anything? Water? I'm fine.
I was hoping my buddy Alf would be here today. I thought he just might be because he loves being on this microphone so much. See what else we have going here. Well, let's see. Sheet B looks like their rock failed to make it in play. So yellow has a nice hit and roll. Oh, beautiful hit and roll under cover to sit 1 with hammer. Meanwhile, sheet A fails again with a little more weight this time, but they fail to promote a second rock. And so on sheet A, do they have more rocks to throw? It looks like it, or they'd be clearing. Yellow. Yellow is throwing again, and I don't see any more red rocks, so somebody on the stream had said that they were sure that yellow got one in the last end and that the scoreboard was wrong. But what I'm seeing is only one yellow rock left to play. So, are you sure you saw that correctly? Joanne and I agree. Red scored 1 in end 4 on A. Okay. On A, yellow's last rock overcurled and knocked yellow's shot rock out just enough for red to take 1. Thank you, Joanne. So Jeffrey Carruthers says, sorry, I was wrong. Reviewed the video. Yellow did bump themselves a foot. So now we know that the scoreboard is not wrong, so I'm glad I didn't run out there and tell them to change it based on somebody's view of the live feed. Okay, well, apparently I was reading, so I missed that last rock, but I don't think it could have done much productive because red was so well buried in there. So red gets another one, and they are now up 3 after 5 ends. My favorite fashion on the ice today has to be the very, very glitzy, glittery snowflake on Morikaki's sweater on sheet C.
Okay. What your husband thinks was a prize from a previous snowflake.
Oh, was it? That might make sense.
He thought it was a prize from a previous trophy from a previous snowflake competition.
Red is currently sitting 3 on sheet C. Actually, might be 2. Sitting 2 on sheet C. But T in past and all very exposed. So Maggie's looking at sitting in that pocket. Now Maggie has hammer here. And that looks a little too heavy to me to be a draw. But it will curl a lot. It looks that... Oh, she wasn't trying to sit in the pocket. She actually was trying for a double, and she made the double. Almost made the double. She got 1.5 rocks and managed to push the second red rock back into the outer rings. So good shot. And that shot was made by Philadelphia's second, which is Pam Stefani. I hope I'm saying that right. Morikaki's in the house, releasing her rock. Looks like they're looking to come down onto the shot rock, and it looks a little too heavy to do that. It's gonna go right by and to the back of the house. It was definitely the right line, just a half a house too much. And I'm not 100% sure what this call is for yellow on sheet C, but we have a rock coming down with T-line weight. Looks like she just put another counter in. So that was, it's possible they were trying to do what Mora just did and sit on their own, but they had more brooms, so that's where they wound up. Mora definitely had the right broom. Just a little too heavy. All right, so Diane is looking for a double takeout, possibly. At least getting one would be good here, especially if she can roll over behind that cover. Looks like Mora is going to nose this rock. Yep, she gets a teeny roll. So that's actually pretty good because if she gets hit, she's likely to jam on that back yellow. That rock's going to be not only a counter, but a major annoyance to Maggie. Who's got to figure out what to do with it. She's talking about hitting it, kicking it, basically, kicking it over, or peeling it, maybe. Okay, so on sheet A, we have one red rock in the house. Like A, red is doing pretty well towards the win today. It's very, very guarded. And they're looking at getting a second one with this shot. Looks like it may be the first vice rock on sheet A. So meanwhile on sheet B, we've got a pretty close game going on. Yellow is sitting 1. They're looking to sit 3 if they make this shot. They have a heavy rock going on, and unfortunately it's not going to hit the inside, but instead the outside of that red. They are still sitting 3, so it did have the desired effect, and that was the last rock, and they made their 3. So, yes. Another big end for yellow on sheet B. So that is Team Orr from Green Mountain is up by 2 after the 5th. On sheet A, Norfolk is up 3 after the 5th. And on sheet C, they haven't even finished the 5th. Oh, it looks like on sheet A, yellow just accidentally promoted. Just accidentally promoted red, but they did not promote them to counting. So that's important. Got giggles in the warm room about hacks, nice hacks. Hey, Kitty. Kitty, is this story appropriate for the live feed? Well, I was just saying it. If it's appropriate for the live feed, I'd love to tell it, but I didn't hear it. There's some joke over there that I didn't catch. Hey, Mom, oh, you don't want to get me another piece of quiche, do you?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Sausage or broccoli?
Whichever. I like the broccoli cheese. Okay. Oh! Lots of rocks. Boy, sheet A is having a major a major guard fest here. For the second end in a row. Got a missed hit on sheet B. Oh, I wasn't watching it. Was that the... Okay, so Lee Cocky has drawn my attention to sheet C. He said he didn't understand the last shot, but I wasn't watching it. So, Lee, what did she do? She threw a guard?
Like a number 2 guard. I'm not sure what she was trying to accomplish with that shot.
Her red guard that's currently there?
Yeah, right there, yeah.
I guess she was guarding her own red rock that's counting?
Is that a shot?
Her red rock is shot, yes. Yes. That's what she was trying to accomplish, is guarding her shot rock. Very understandable. But Maggie has hammer, and she's going to look to draw to the button with her first skip rock. And I know she can do that, because that's what she does. Okay, so on sheet B, there was a missed hit a couple of rocks ago, and now yellow is going to just come down and just tap back that red rock. Unfortunately, didn't get it at quite the right angle, and it's now a sitting deck. So pretty soon, red will be sitting 3 with hammer. And Maggie didn't do the draw. She actually did a little kick, which works out just as well. Looks like Maggie McMahon is sitting. I believe it is not. I believe yellow is sitting 1-3 on sheet C. So Diane's looking at her possibilities. She definitely has to hit the shot rock. And if she rolls over, she could be sitting 1-2. Leaving Maggie to make that draw again, which I'm sure she could do. Okay. So, on sheet B, red, I thought with that shot that after that shot they'd be sitting 3, but it looks like they're actually just sitting 2 because they failed to remove the yellow rock. Still not too bad, given that they have hammer. The yellow team is going to try to remove the shot, or actually they're going to try to sit on the shot rock. Or possibly kick it over and guard their own shot. It looks like it was wide and hot, and but it actually did just almost what she would have wanted it to do. That could have been a really nice shot if she had gotten it. Kicked the red over and then guarded the other one, although it wasn't shot, so I'm not really sure what the exact call was.
Even if she takes that out, she's not shot, right?
Well, if she takes that out, she's going to be sitting 3 again. The red. Oh, I'm sorry. You're looking at sheet C. I'm talking about sheet B. Never mind. Sheet C. Maggie's last rock. And even if she takes that out, you are right. She is not going to be. So Diane did a great job of making sure that it was hard for Maggie to count 1 here. So Maggie basically has to make a perfect draw in between those 2 red rocks in order to count. And that looks a little hot for draw weight to me. If it gets the inside of it and keeps going, she might have something. But to me, it looks like a more direct hit. But it's possible. Boom, and it rolls over, but I'll bet you it's not going to be shot. And that was the last rock on she. So good attempt, but she didn't quite get the skinny enough. I'm surprised. I thought that there was a draw there, but you know, obviously she sees things better than I do out here. We'll find out for sure when the score goes up. And red collects another 1 point for a steal. Red is up 2 after the 5th. Meanwhile, the other 2 sheets are almost done with their 6 ends.
Right to that. Right, there's that first curtain. That's the men's room. Only the women's room at the door. Like half the guys, just like, and literally I will be having conversations, and I'll be like, why are none of you wearing pants? And they're like, because it's just you downstairs. And I was like, ah!
On sheet B, Kitty LaRoque is talking about people not wearing pants.
What?
On sheet B, Kitty LaRoque is talking about people not wearing pants. Hey, Kitty, can you come over? Can you come over and tell us your story about hacks? Nice hacks. We want to hear. I want to hear about the story about nice
I think
hacks.
that might be against the rules to be on the broadcast.
Why? Talking about nice hacks is against rules of broadcast?
No, she wants me to come over and tell it.
Yeah, I do. I think
Yeah, that is definitely
the YouTube world wants to know what your joke is. All right.
It's a bold strategy.
It's a bold strategy.
For the other
It's a bold strategy. Mm. Sheet B has quite a situation brewing. Oh. Sheet A seems to have gotten rid of much of their guard wall and now has a bunch of rocks in the house. Looks like hammers coming down to sheet A. This is what it looks like. And I really don't know what yellow could possibly do other than tap back to only set 1. I don't think that there's any way that they can get 2 here. But oh, it looks like it's actually just vice rocks coming down right now. So we'll see soon. I'm a little confused what that was supposed to be. Well, it looked like
this is part of a longer plan that we've
also a little confused because Aaron Doucette, I hadn't noticed, is throwing skips rocks. Oh well. That was definitely confusing. Okay, so it was what it was. Looked like red picked up another one.
We all know what the meaning is. The meaning won't be close. We'll just do that in an internal way.
Because there are 2 members that I know. One of them I know. Same person. They're currently a social network.
Now I notice that Trish Ryan's actually in the warm room. Maybe she's injured. I may go over and ask her. I did notice Nada was on the ice, and I thought I was seeing things, but it looks like Nada must be subbing for Trish. So, oh, you know what? I recall that there was an injury on the ice yesterday while I was playing, but since I was playing, I didn't really notice who it was. Must have been Trish. Okay, sheet B has an interesting looking house, and I'm going to switch to it since everybody else is pretty early in their end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's see now. 1, 2, 3 counters, and if they get this one out, they'll be sitting 6. Except that yellow's up, so never mind. Looks like looks like yellow's first skip rock. Are they trying to... I'm not really sure what yellow's trying to do here. There's a guard, which makes the draw very hard, so it almost looks like they're trying to hit off of their own and roll in. But I'm not sure why they're not just drawing. And they end up hitting their guard. Right back to the multi-view. See if any more comments. Is feed not updated, Joanne? Is feed not updated? I don't know. Okay, let's see. I do see people who might be able to give me Crystal Snowflake history in the worm room. So maybe I can flag one of them down. I see Heidi Fallen. Hey, Heidi.
That is not the right line, Shane. That is not the right line.
Both of you, actually. One of our listeners has a question about the history of the Crystal Snowflake. How long has it been going on? Has Nutmeg always had it?
It's only in this building.
So it's as old as this building.
Minus a few years.
Minus a few years. And how long has Nutmeg been in this building?
Either 12 or 13.
I'm talking to some very, very long-standing members. And Heidi Fallen says that we've been in this building for 12 to 13 years.
Yeah.
So the Crystal Snowflake may be about 10 or 11 years old. Okay, so that answers that question.
Sorry, not.
No, that was very useful. I hope those guys aren't microphone shy.
So only 5.
Oh, look at that.
It could be a 7.
Craig Doucette's in the house. Hello, Craig Doucette. Okay, so Sheet B, wow. Sheet B now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red counters. What a game going on Sheet B. Yellow is up with their last skip rock, and it looks like they're going to come down and sit on the shot rock, which is definitely the thing to do. Actually, it looks like there's not a lot of room for that, so they're probably going to try to come more undercover than that. I mean, it would end up coming a little more undercover than that and sitting on the other side of the rock. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, they don't crash on the front one. But even if they did crash on the front one, as long as they don't spill out too far, it could cut them down. These are... I can't quite tell what's going to happen. Yeah, they crashed on the front one, and unfortunately, they left themselves very exposed for the final red rock. So currently, red is sitting 2. If they hit the inside of that yellow, we could have a 6-ender on our hands.
Oh, wow, they could.
Yes, they could.
They get rid of the yellow.
Yep.
Would they just shake it?
I did not think that was enough room to sit on that rock. So then I thought maybe they're trying to really get undercover, you know, but... And we're still... Thinking it looked like Sheet C was early on its 6-end, but they're actually quite late. They just have a very clean house. Maggie has hammer, and she's looking to probably take out that front red rock to sit 2. Okay, Matina's rock is coming down. Near B. Here it comes, and she needs to take this yellow out, and she needs it to not jam, and it jammed. Wow, what a lucky break for yellow. What a lucky break. Yes. See, that is the danger of trying to get those very big ends on your last rock, is if you screw things up. It, they could have had 6. They could have had 5. Or they could have had 6 if they'd made that shot correctly. They were sitting 2. There was a big risk reward, right? Or a big reward if they got it.
They got the 2. That would have been great, but they didn't.
Right, so it was a swing of, yeah. That is too bad for Martina Heisler. Okay, so sorry, back to the other sheets. Okay, Kitty. Kitty.
Hey, Kitty.
Our listeners are texting on YouTube saying, yes, we want to hear the nice hack story. The listeners are texting on YouTube saying, yes, we do want to hear the nice hack story.
That story is actually going to get a complaint.
It's going to get a point?
Complaint.
I don't know. I don't think it could. Maybe Dorothy would like to come over and tell it. Dorothy's not going to get in trouble. Dorothy's not going to get in trouble. Dorothy is not going to get in trouble for telling the hack story. You're not already gone. I see you. You're right here. No, you're not. So tell us what about these nice hacks?
What?
Tell us about the nice hacks.
What hats? What hats and what?
The nice hack story.
The hack?
She was telling a story, and the punchline was nice hacks, and everybody was laughing.
Oh.
And we want to know what the story is. We want to know what's so funny.
She fell flat in her face and I didn't know it.
We did. I think Dorothy's pretending to not know the story.
Laura, what story is this? When she fell flat in her face?
Laura, did you hear?
I think it's a different story.
Did you hear the story, Laura? Maybe you'd like to come tell it.
I'm not going to tell it.
Laura's not going to tell the story.
Get away with it.
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody, but nobody is willing to tell the story because they think they're going to get in trouble. So I just can't know. Hey, Mom, why don't you go find out what the story is? You can come back and tell me. She's not going to do it either. Boy, whatever happened to loyalty? Okay, good stuff. Back to the curling. Sheet A.
Yeah, well, a lot of times I do.
Hey, you were never leaving. You weren't. I know. I was going to say you weren't. I can't come to podcast today. And I actually don't know.
I am not going to the Golden Handle. No. But I should tell everybody on the live feed that they are still looking for teams for the Golden Handle, which is playing January 3rd through January 5th. It is a mixed bonspiel, 4-game guarantee, $360 per team. It is a New Year's party themed Saturday night with champagne and live entertainment.
Italian catered dinner on Friday night.
Brian is possibly going to be put on a team. He was on a team and they dropped out. He may be getting on a mixed Nutmeg other club team for that. I am going to be at Death by Chocolate, a women's bonspiel in Rochester at the same time with Christine Smith of Nutmeg and a skip from Albany and a second from Albany. Okay. So it looks like red is either counting 1 or 2. From this view, I can't tell whether that front red is biting on sheet A. Sheet B, we've got 1 yellow counter. Red definitely has hammer. Boy, did they need that big end before. It looks like they've got this one, but there's a potential to jam. Looks like they got it okay. And they stuck around. So, great rock for, let's see, which rock was that? That was a second rock for Cape Cod. Final second rock for, let's see, Green Mountain coming down the ice on sheet B. Looks like she's gonna.
Is that Maggie's last rock coming down?
Come down to the shot rock. So my mother's asking me about sheet B. Maggie throws a beautiful button draw and counts 2. At the end of the 6th end on sheet C, and it is now a tie game after 6 ends. Now we know, we're pretty sure that these guys are only going to be playing 7 because they are way behind. So this is, again, looking very, very familiar. Tied after 6 ends, 1 end to go, and now the Nutmeg team has hammer. So I was tied against Maggie yesterday after 6 ends, but I did not have hammer. And that could have made all the difference. Actually, it would. She probably would have gotten more points if I had had hammer because I would have had a different strategy and it wouldn't have worked. I did not like having hammer. Okay, so sheet A again. What is up with sheet A? They just have a wall of guards. I don't get it. Every single end, they've had huge numbers of rocks in play up front. And it looks like they missed and tapped another yellow into the rings, but it's not a counter. Red is still sitting 1. A very, very guarded 1 on sheet A. Yellow rock coming in to push out a red on sheet B. Set up a good jam possibility. They try to hit that. So sheet C, again, same situation I was in yesterday. Yellow, who does not have hammer, puts up a center guard. Red is trying to immediately draw around it. All they need is 1 to win. But they did a Weagle, which is also a perfectly good move, and in fact, it may have been the call. And if it was the call, it was beautifully executed. Because not only do they have 2 corner guards, but they've put the initial yellow guard into the house so they can hit it whenever they want. Yellow is deciding to draw behind the red guard. Or maybe they're going to put the center guard back, actually. That's the broom that she did. Putting that center guard back. And it looks a little wide and maybe a little heavy. So it's going to go in the house. But I don't think it's going to bury. No. Diane's going to try to hit and roll behind that. Marianne Rajman lets her rock go. On sheet A, it looks like red team probably got another 1. See, Mom, there's a great example of winning to death on sheet A. Look at that.
example on sheet
A of winning to death. More successful winning to death.
winning by one.
1, 1, 1, 1. All right, well, let's see. Marion Rodgeman rolled the opposite way, which works. Now Maggie is calling for a sit on the shot rock. Great line. Looks like it might be too light though, and it looks like it's actually gonna either hog or just be a guard. It's possible it will tap up their current yellow rock that's sitting in the front, but not by very much. So not a helpful rock. Was there a shake on sheet A? I thought I saw kicked stone. No shake. It was probably just a hogged rock. See, I might expect a shake now because they are down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The red team, the Nutmeg team, is down 5 in the 8th end, and expect to take 5. It's unlikely, but they do have hammer. It's not like they're trying to steal 5. So they should definitely play that out. You never know. But if they want 5, they can't set up a big wall of guards like they have been doing every end. Okay. And it looks like that's what's happening is they're starting the giant wall of guards once again. The ice must be slow out there. Hey, Kitty. Jane. Is Trish injured? Is Trish injured? Okay. Is she the one that fell yesterday? Oh, she fell later. Okay. So how is the person that fell yesterday who needed ice? She's... Oh, they're not playing. Okay. But she's okay. Okay, that's good. We had a fall in the ice that stopped everything yesterday. And the giant wall of guards, rock by rock, they're going to build it again on sheet A. Okay.
Traffic jam when they go.
It is. It'll look like a traffic jam again. Yep. I don't know why that's happening. So everybody's late. Okay. Yellow has to get 5 rocks in. They got to get them in.
Oh, no, here's a heavier rock.
Yeah, there's a heavier rock. And that heavier rock is going to promote the red in the house instead of getting in the house itself.
But it's part of the traffic jam.
And now, as in every other end, they have a well-guarded red rock in the house.
Which the red didn't put in.
A very consistent game going on sheet A. Okay, so there must be other fun things to look at. We got sheet B. Red is looking like they are trying for a big end. Unfortunately, they just promoted a yellow rock. Luckily, they could hit it later. Which team on which sheet?
Oh, the seat. Well, yeah.
Sheet C? I'm not sure if the commentator is allowed to support teams, but if I were allowed to support teams, I was supporting Cape Cod on sheet B because I really liked their skip when I was playing against her. And I guess I could.
We're out there. I'm surprised you're not back here.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
liking this, both of them, because some of them are Nutmeg, and the other ones she played yesterday, and they were the nicest people.
They are. I can't choose a team on sheet C because we got a Nutmeg team versus another nice team that I played.
Yeah, but see, I kind of like. I've known Maggie for a long time.
Yeah, Maggie's sweet.
Yeah, I think Maggie's a great, consistent shot.
She's a very good shot maker, and she was. When I didn't know what shot to call yesterday, once she told me what shot to call. Nice.
And she's real nice. And she's a charming, friendly Irish woman originally from Boston, who's played more than 20 years in Philadelphia.
So Maggie is sitting 1 to win.
I don't know who's on one.
Looking to win this game on sheet C.
Nutmeg.
No, one is Nutmeg against Norfolk,
Oh,
and Norfolk is going to win.
Norfolk's the one up north?
Yeah, they're almost pretty. They're pretty much almost eliminated now.
But is Norfolk the team?
Yes,
I
Norfolk
guess
is the team.
I
Is
the
the
charming little
North.
place with two.
I saw it with Norfolk last night. I saw them on the ice, so.
So yesterday I lost to Maggie to be out,
Oh, you did.
Mhm.
Oh,
They were.
but it was the last rock.
good, good. Well,
It was the last rock. It was very exciting.
yeah, good.
Yes,
That's the way it should.
it was. She got 1-1-1-1.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, wait. We were playing 7 ends
Yeah.
because we were slow. So she got 1-1-1-1. Then I got 3, and then I was in the last end. I didn't have hammer, and I was sitting 1 by her last rock,
Yeah.
and then she managed to push me back. Yeah, it was good. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so yellow's looking in a pretty good position
both
here.
teams here, so I didn't really have a favorite. I was just cheering for good rocks.
Red does have hammer. This guy looks a little too wide to be a guard. Maybe it'll come back. Come back. Come back. Oh, it's good.
Oh, I
It's
thought I was
good.
gonna hit the red one.
I was just channeling,
Is it a biter?
no, it's not, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be a guard. In fact, it's better for it to be farther up because then they can't double them. Just channeling Kate Winslet in Titanic. Come back. Come back.
You're good at this.
Come back. She's calling the boats to come back and pick her up. It's like talking to the rocks.
With this huge cruiser ship.
Okay, so yellow should be shaking any time now on sheet A. Okay, so sheet B, Martina is throwing her last rock, and if she gets it, I don't know, that yellow rock down there, she can't get it out because it's frozen. Here's the far B. As it comes in, she bumps the red rock back for a jam, and we have 1, 2, at least 3, maybe 4 red rocks for Martina Heisler, and that is the team I'm rooting for. Yes. Go, Martina, go. Nothing against the other team. I just haven't even met them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out whether it was 3 or 4 very soon.
And if she gets 4, does she win?
They're playing an 8th end because I assume they were not out of time. And it was 4. So Martina pulls ahead and is up 1 without hammer, coming home in the 8th.
That makes it an exciting.
It's a very, very exciting game on Sheet B. Oh, I'm sorry to everybody who putting it back to the multi is people get angry if I leave it on a sheet for too long. So sorry, Jeffrey Kerr, there's no nice hack story for you. Nobody's willing to tell it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, here goes Maggie. And unfortunately, the far sea camper's not working. What is Maggie doing? What is she doing? She is throwing her rock away? No, she's guarding a draw. She wouldn't be throwing her rock away. She's guarding a tap back. Excuse me. Come back. Come back. But she hogs her rock. Because, Mom, if you take a look at the screen, let me see if I could go get a far view. Multi-views. Okay. We don't have a full far view.
No.
Oh, well. Yellow has 1 rock sitting here.
Yeah.
The only thing red could have done is maybe tap their rock up. And I think maybe she was trying to guard that, but she hogged it. Oh.
What do you mean she hogged it?
Oh, it didn't. The rock did not get over the hog line. You see those red lines? Those are called the hog lines. Right next to the red line on the wall, you see a little piggy.
Yeah.
He's a hog.
Okay.
To announce, I am the hog line.
So if you don't get it over, they just clear it.
If you don't get it over, it's not in play. That's called a hog.
Okay.
So she hogged that rock. She didn't get it into play. So let's see. Red is going
Which
to.
is unusual for Maggie.
That is very unusual for Maggie, yeah. But it's possible that she hadn't drawn down that side and that side's slower. I was talking about how sometimes there's a tendency for one side to be slower than the other. I don't know why that
I
happens.
remember at Norfolk one side was slower than the other.
Yes, that definitely happened at Norfolk too. Last year during the. Do you remember what the name of that bonspiel was?
No?
The Winter Wonderland. Yep. And they had a huge swing on one side and not on the other. Very interesting ice. So it looks like sheet A is finally shook. With Team Swick of Norfolk winning against Team Ryan, with Nada Leslie subbing a skip. Or maybe the Vice was skipping, I can't tell. And they were the B event. So the winner of the B event is Team Swick.
Norfolk?
From Norfolk.
What?
From Norfolk.
Are they the blue?
They are all in matching blue snowflake shirts. Okay, so excitement on sheet C. This is Diane Muldowney's first skip rock. She has to try to figure out how to clear the yellow shot rock or to put a rock as shot herself.
Deadly Diane?
Nobody's ever called her Deadly Diane.
Okay.
No, but she does have people call amazing shots that you would never think could work. They call them Diane Muldowney's at this club.
Okay.
So sometimes she'll make these shots that you'd never think could work, and then they just do. And if ever anybody gets one of those, they said, you just did a Diane Muldowney.
So she could be doing one of those.
She
right
could be doing a Diane Muldowney right now. She has to promote something. I was actually surprised she didn't promote the one on the other side. And it looks like she's just going to be clearing her own guard. But no, she's not clearing it. She's promoting it. And there it goes. And it's going in. And it is not going to get that far. So if that was her plan, was to nose that rock and put it in to the other yellow, she didn't give it enough weight. But I don't exactly know what her plan was. I thought it was to tick the outside rock. She also has... Unfortunately, her shot rock was left as a guard, which doesn't help her at all.
Okay, so now, wait, there's...
Are you looking at sheet C still?
So no, so Maggie has one left.
Maggie has one left, right, and
She is not...
she just needs to protect...
She's not hammer.
She doesn't have hammer, so she's just trying to protect the one yellow rock in there. And it looks like she's been doing a smash-up job of it so far. Now, the other one that Diane has, and maybe she's leaving it for her second rock, is to promote the red rock on the other side. She has one on this side, on the left side of the sheet. She can promote that. But it doesn't look like Maggie is trying to protect that one. If she could promote that one at the right weight into the button, then she could just out-count the yellow instead of taking it out.
In the B rink?
In the B rink. Well, it's not called a rink, it's called a sheet. A rink is actually the name of a curling team. Curling team is called a rink. This is a curling sheet, sheet B. Okay, looks like...
Two for yellow.
Looks like they're on second rocks on sheet B. And on sheet A... Maggie's trying to prevent any more tapbacks. I think she did that pretty successfully, at least on the right side, not on the left.
They have their snowflake earrings on today.
Yep. Diane's wandering around the house, looking at everything. I don't know why she's not looking at the tapback on the left side. I mean, I don't think that's so out there, given the situation.
So this is probably the last shot of the game because you think they're only going 7 ends per shoot.
I assume so because they were very slow. And you notice one of the teams that played 8 ends is already off the ice. So they're an entire end behind where they should be. Okay, so we've got two yellows. We've got two yellows counting on sheet B, which, if they can keep them, they'll win the game. Bettina is thinking about her options.
Bettina red or yellow?
Bettina's red. She's the skip that I played yesterday. Okay, so finally, Diane is going to go for the tap back on.
So if this is the game, there's only one shot left.
It's the game, there's only one shot left. Diane has to promote her red rock to outcount the yellow.
Or can she get through that very narrow window and put it on the button?
Nope. I don't think she can draw through that now.
But if anybody
And the weight that she threw is a tap back weight. The sweepers are on it.
Theirs are down here.
It looks like it might be good if it has the right weight. That's the key. She's going to hit it a little bit at an angle. I think it's too much though, because it's going to go right by into the back of the house, actually out. So it was just too much weight. And that's the game. So Maggie McMahon in Philadelphia wins the.
But they're not shaking.
That is confusing.
I think they're playing another round.
Yeah, there's no time limit. That's what I was missing, is that the final has no time limit. I was assuming here that since they were so behind, they were playing 7 innings.
Apologize to your crowd.
I apologize to my crowd.
Apologize to the crowd.
I apologize. There is no time limit. I was wrong. They are playing all 8 ends. Yes, I just didn't realize that. I assumed it was sheet C's last end. All right. What did you say, Kitty? Did you just knock me?
That's okay.
Oh, Kitty said it's like nobody listens to my announcements. Well, I wasn't here during your announcement, Kitty. I got here after your announcement. Yes. It's not that I wasn't listening. No, Kitty is not the one with the white hair. Kitty is the one with the hat.
Did you grow up in Brighton?
I did.
Okay. We lived in, technically Brighton, but it was called Rochester for 25 years.
Yeah, I know. I think we talked about this.
Yeah.
Where did you live?
On Landing Road South, right by the fire station.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Right where your soccer field used to be.
Okay, curling. I'm commentating curling here. Okay, so it looks like Bettina is going for. Oh goodness. She would have been going for a double, but it must have been narrow. I don't think. Oh! Pretty good shot. Not perfect. Red is sitting 1, but it's going to be pretty easy for them to take that one out.
I know where the Brighton was. Isn't it near Mercy High School?
It would have been great if it could have rolled and sat on the shot rock.
I know it. Yeah. But you just go north.
Okay, so since everybody.
North of touch, there's Mercy High School.
Looks like there's a measure going on sheet B to see whether yellow got 1 or 2. I hadn't even realized. This is the situation on B right now. So yellow is sitting 3, and yellow has hammer. But two of those counters are behind the tee line. So if Bettina can sit a rock right in front of the shot rock, then she's got a shot at stealing 1 and winning this end and the game.
Oh, I know where it is. Yep. Okay. Yep. Exactly where. Yep. Right. So we had one of those very big ones, 3-story. Oh, that's gorgeous. Well, I live in the house where it was brought up. gray
Yes. Yes.
buckler. Very nice.
Tina's taking her time and sends her rock off. And let's see where it goes. Looks a little... Actually, it might be okay. Sweepers are on it. They gotta let it curl. Gotta let it curl. I think it's got enough weight and they gotta let it curl. It was just wide. And again, yellow should be able to easily take that out, but if they don't get it the right angle, it'll jam and be guarded. So they really need to hit it on the inside. At least not on the outside.
Liz's father.
Bill, when you worked at Kodak Park, what was the number of your building?
You get two wins.
56. I should have remembered. What? Cashier's office. What? Cashier's office.
Cashier's office. Okay, because I can't exactly remember what my husband, Liz's father, at Kodak.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
With a special
pressure is on
ran around and fixed problems.
on sheet B.
I won as a measure.
Sheet C, that measure turned out to have 2 yellows counting. So now Diane Muldowney is trying to make 3 for the win with hammer on sheet C.
He's a PhD chemical engineer. He orders vitamins. So there's a big Kodak family. Well, my sister worked for Kodak. My brother-in-law worked for Kodak. 3 nieces and nephews worked for
Okay, it looks like that might be over. Oh, and she gets it, and it doesn't matter so much if it jams on the back because it's not shot rock. All right, all they need is 1. All they need is 1. And now Martina needs to make a draw.
Who I was going to marry. Right.
It's possible
Entire family.
that if she sits on her back red rock, that it'll still count. But it would be best if she can draw and bury to the button. The other team would still have to promote. More excessive giggles from the warm room. Wondering if there was some new joke.
Just all, there was no question that my kids were going to be scientific. So I picked school districts by number of AP courses in math and sciences and percentage that went on to not only to college but went on to graduate school. Okay. When my kids went to school, that they didn't.
So Jeffrey Carruthers, tell us, what club are you from? Are you from Norfolk?
My kids are in the okay, my kids are now. This is the last one. We just crossed the line before.
Sorry, I took it off the full screen. Now you guys can see what's going on sheet C.
So I ended up with my 2 girls.
Unfortunately, I'm getting very distracted by the stories of Kodak that are sitting next to me. Okay, so Martina's last rock is coming in. She's looking for a perfect draw. Looks heavy to me. I think this is the end of the game, unfortunately. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't think it's counting. But apparently they're not sure. Or they think it is. So it must be counting. So now they just have to knock it back or sit on it. And they should be able to do this. Shot for the win. Let's see, I'm sure this Skip has no problem making shots under pressure. More excessive giggles in the warm room. I don't know what they're laughing about. I wish somebody would let me in on the joke. You know, you guys want to let the live feed in? You guys want to let the live feed in on the joke?
Dorothy can't sing.
How is that funny? They won't tell me the joke again. Good times here, though. Good times. Okay, so It looks like she's gonna make it. Oh my God, she made it. Good shot. I was thinking it might crash on the front, and that's a game. That's a game for the A event final of the Crystal Snowflake. We have Team Green Mountain, skipped by Tish Orr. And we have still half an end left on sheet C. That was such a close and exciting game. In fact, I feel like I want to put the scoreboard up just to... Scoreboard. I can't put out scoreboards. I'm going to have to learn about scoreboards later. That doesn't seem to work. Corner scoreboard. Oh, no scoreboard. How about no scoreboard? I'm sorry, I'm putting up these scores. I just actually don't know how to work this. Okay, good. I've successfully taken down false scoreboards. All right, so let's zoom in on sheet C. And this is what's going on sheet C. So again, on sheet C, this is the final end. They're so loud. Sheet C, Diane Muldowney, who has red rocks, needs to take 3 to win or 2 to tie. And now that I've done that, I'm going to see if I can't figure out how to do scoreboards, because I've never done that before. No, I wasn't. Only because she made me.
I didn't make you do marching band. You did that all yourself. I came to pick you up and you said, "Where's my trombone?" And I said, "Home," and you said, "Bring it."
Okay, red. Ooh, still not sitting one. Then maybe I could get Dave Bykowski over here if he's. Oh, he left, didn't he?
Yeah,
and you've never done this.
No.
And we don't have anybody else here, do we? Oh, I know. I just I'm letting them view this one, but I was interested in the scoreboards and how I can enter in the teams and the scores, and I can't figure it out. It's a little late. I just want to learn about it.
She went down to South Carolina for 7 years, and then back up here.
My mother is telling the story of my life to the person next to her, and it's all coming onto this live feed, and I'm not happy about it. Go, 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 sweep, sweep, sweep. Okay, Maggie has pretty successfully guarded her shot rock. And Diane is looking to... She's definitely trying to take out a rock that isn't shot. So Maura has released her rock. It looks like it's going to come in to the outside of this rock. And it pushed back 2 yellows and a red and is now shot. It is not really open for a hit. So I don't really understand what it was supposed to do, unfortunately. Maybe it was supposed to hit it out and roll in. I think that would have made sense, but it was just a little wide or a little heavy.
30 days at a time.
The good news is that they could still draw down to it and tap it back and be sitting 1-2. Looks like Maggie's looking to draw one up to the front on the other side. Jeffrey Carruthers says, you're from the Canadian Club of Boston. That's interesting that there's a Canadian Club of Boston. Oh, so you're not a curler. Oh, I see, Broomstones. You curl at Broomstones. So Jeffrey, I was out at Broomstones for the Oktoberfest, and we had a marvelous time. Very nice party. Good times. We'd like to come again.
Little cabin in the Adirondacks. They all know how to fix everything. Where are you in the Lake? Okay, it's very near Upper Center. Yeah, we go to the Adirondacks. We used to have a place where.
Okay.
Okay. Then after property. Right.
Okay, this is looking not what she called, but it will definitely make it harder for Diane to get her two. So Diane, I just heard somebody say Diane's in a heap of hurt. That was Bill Browdingham. Bill Browdingham is visiting just to see the end of the Snowflake final. I don't think he's curling this year. So Diane has to count 2 with her 2 remaining rocks to win. Just a tie, excuse me, just a tie. Unless she can somehow push one of these yellow rocks back with her first stone and one with the other, which is possible, then if Maggie somehow misses her last shot, then she could feasibly get 3 here, but she's looking to, you know, she even might be able to do it if she could just catch the inside of this rock. But given how well it's guarded, it's possible. Okay, so her rock has been released. The warm room says we think it's too heavy. And it is coming back. And it looks like it's going to be really nice. They're sweeping it to get it by that guard. She's going to tap it back, roll in a little bit. So she now is shot rock. That's going to be really hard for Maggie to get out. But all Maggie needs to do is come down to it. If Maggie just comes down to it, then Diane can't get 2.
Down to it and sits on it, she'll be just a little on the inside. She'll be closer.
That's right.
That's really hard for Maggie to come in.
Right. Or
Did she come in the other side?
she can come in the other side, and she wouldn't be able to sit on it from the other side, but if she buries it on the other side, then Diane can't, if she just outcounts her, Diane can't hit it.
Okay,
It looks like she is going to go for the sit. Diane has hammer.
Oh, that puts Diane at the advantage.
Well,
That was a beautiful shot that Diane just did.
But Diane needs 2 just to tie.
Oh.
So Maggie has to basically miss this shot, and Diane has to come in and draw into the inner rings. So that's what would happen just for Diane to tie, and then they go to an extra end.
So who won on the B sheet?
Oh, the B sheet? It was Green Mountain won. Yep. In the last shot. Yep. Mm-hmm. That was a good scoreboard.
determine and it means which is your husband. Yeah, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, she's coming this way.
Maggie's throwing her final rock.
Is she gonna hit the red one?
It looks light. She's gonna hit the red.
She's gonna hit the red one and it's all over.
So that rock is basically ineffective. And this, I say this is very unlike Maggie.
Very unlike Maggie.
Very unlike Maggie.
It's not a Maggie shot.
Nope. And again, it's possible that she simply has not been throwing on that side. And
Really, really good.
so, well, she can't take the draw away from Diane on both sides. Diane could have drawn either side for the second rock. She couldn't have taken the draw away on both sides. Diane can draw either side for a second rock. So she had to come in and sit on that one.
Oh, I meant earlier. The vice.
Oh, the vices rocks. I see.
No, not this way. Yeah.
So all she has to do is put one closer.
She has to put one in the center of the white.
Either way. And she doesn't even have to get to the button.
Right. She just has to put her in the center of the white.
Out here, you got all kinds of people.
You're wide open.
I mean, all you got to have almost weight.
Which can be easier said than done too.
Because as it is, she's one behind, right? And it sits right now.
That is way wide. And it looks heavy. No, the sweepers are on it, so it's not heavy. But again, she just needs mid-white. So she didn't want to be narrow because
she's got it.
but she definitely has it.
She's got it.
If it stops.
Stop.
If it stops, and it hasn't stopped yet, but it's going to stop. Bonus curling. Great button shot for Diane. Whole warm room is clapping. Now they got to send all the rocks back down. Do it again. We got a lot of people in the warm room now, all the teams that came off the ice. This is the 8th end, and they need to do an extra end for a tie. They are tied. They seemed a little confused. They don't know what to do in a tie, but it's an extra end. Throw them all back down, guys. Throw them all back down. Mm-hmm.
Wow, they have to work hard for this.
Yes, they do.
Oh, and they have to do it back toward this way?
Well, they might as well.
They might as well, but it makes it more exciting. It makes it better for the crowd.
I was going to say also, and we can see it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I think I just figured out how to do this. So the red team is Muldowney. And the yellow team is McMahon. And then the end is the 9th. And the red score is 7. The yellow score is 7. So then I have to tell it to...
Yeah. So do you play mix?
No, that didn't work.
We don't play
Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
How is this on?
We could not keep up with this group. Oh, I know. Some people do.
Do they have a master's category?
Multi-view scoreboard. Scoreboard 1, scoreboard 2. No. Can't figure out how to put the score up. Not that you guys need to know the score. It's tied in the 9th. And this time, Maggie McMahon has hammer.
So, Maggie gave her some suggestions, which is really great. That's it'd be just so nice. Know what to do, yeah? So that was just great.
With hair. But yeah.
The nice team for Philadelphia. So someone came by and said, "Who are you cheering for?" And I said, "Well, both of them." Because it belongs to Philadelphia. This is so nice.
We get the roasting.
Great game. It came down to last shot, last between the two of them last night. Who won?
Just playing with cameras. Trying to learn how this works. Wish I could get a multi-view of sheet C.
Whatever. You had one of just that end. You should put that
Yeah,
on.
I did. I'm playing around because
Yeah, this one you should show over here.
Yeah, I could do that.
That's what people want to see right now.
Yep. I'm just looking at the views, but that way they can see his shooting too. But I was hoping that there was one that showed me just the two. Just a two. What, you don't like this one?
Oh, that's okay.
You want the one of just the house?
Well, and this one, because
it's got both of them.
They can't have both.
What do you mean? This is what they're seeing right now.
Okay.
I was trying to find a view that just has this house and the other house. But I don't see it. I'm not sure how to create it.
This weekend it hasn't been quite as low as it's been this weekend, but it's still lower than it is.
Look at it.
I'm glad you think
Because if you look at the last one I did, it was double digits. 16 points. And yesterday that was a lot dirtier.
I don't really know how to overlay the score. I have to get some lessons on this one.
So you have Maine and Quan.
Yeah, I know. Whenever I click that, it just comes on, and then I'd like to click this one on, but it doesn't work. See, I have their score here, but I can't figure out how to click it on. Somehow, when I just do that, it goes on. So maybe what I need to do is edit this title to Muldowney.
No, whoever's hammer in the ninth end, if you blank it, you lose. The idea is you should be able to make the draw if you had hammer in the ninth end, and then it prevents the 10th end from happening.
Okay. So now when I click that, it comes on. Okay. And I should hope you would think it would tell you has hammer on here, but no.
If we end up against.
So maybe what I could do is Muldowney, McMahon, 9th end, 7-7, and I'll do 7H for hammer. And then, oh, that's funny. The 9 didn't, H didn't. Well, 7-7. I told it to do 7-7, and it's doing something else. So.
Oh, she's got
That's amazing. There's so much.
It's just not even.
Do that. That wasn't too smart.
This is so weird.
It probably wasn't intended. A yellow that was a fighter knocked off.
Look, I've told it it's the 9th N and it's 7 and 7 each over here.
Yeah.
But when I cut it in, it says it's 6 N 9 9. I have no idea what's wrong with this thing.
Change the 6.
I
Can you go up here and change the 6?
No, I can't.
Okay.
This is where I'm editing it, but it doesn't come that way, so I don't know. I have to get lessons on how to do that one. Oh well, just keep it off.
And you're like, do you want to play in the event final? Because it's skip rocks or
Okay, so
skip rocks. It was the event final. You're like, you Kathy and Missy can throw skip rocks, or you can just go home. And I was like, we'll come throw skip rocks.
Well, Diane's dividing her thing, so that.
We were like, congratulations.
Diane has split the house.
Yeah, she split the house.
But I don't. I'm confused by that because Diane doesn't have hammer.
No, wait.
It's curling for sure.
Is that curling? You got to take the red one out? Yeah, okay, it's going to get the red one out.
So I would think that Diane, since she doesn't have hammer, would want to put up guards and put something behind it and defend it.
Instead of getting the red one, she got her own one.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. She's got hammer, so at the end, Maggie wants a pretty clean house so that she can just draw into it.
So Maggie's got the hammer.
Maggie has the hammer. So the question is why was Diane putting these 2 rocks out into the wings when she doesn't have hammer?
I have to waste Maggie's rocks? I have no idea.
But it doesn't matter. She can waste all of Maggie's rocks, and when Maggie has her last rock, if the center is clear, she just puts it in. It looks to me like as if Diane's using a strategy that somebody with the hammer would use, not somebody without the hammer. So I'm confused what she's doing. Yeah.
What?
Well, what do you think?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said Diane has put 2 of her rocks in the wings. She doesn't have hammer. And she has to take 1 without hammer. So why is she doing that?
Diane's got a steal.
Yeah, she's got a steal. Yeah.
So you normally put guards out front.
You normally put guards out front and you defend the rock at a button, right? But she specifically called for... Or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe one of them got flown out there. But I really thought that she called for him.
I don't know.
All right, well, now she's calling for something in the center.
Why is she calling for something in the center she's pointing out?
She is indicating to her which handle she should give the rock, and that's the signal for the turn that will bring it back towards the center.
She's asking for it to go to the center?
Yes, she's asking for it to go to the center. It's got a turn on it that'll bring it back to the center.
And she wants it in the house.
I don't know if she I didn't see her tap and whether she wanted it in the house, but it looks like it's going to come back to the yellow back here. Okay, that's fine. So this mom is good, just as good as having a guarded rock, is to have a rock sitting right behind it, because they can't take it out when it has a rock sitting right behind it.
That's right.
But because it's behind the T line, that means that they could just do the same shot and sit on her, and then they'll be closer. But then she could do the same shot and sit on them, and she'd be closer.
I could go out the front.
All the way until you get past the button, and then somebody's out of luck. Looks like she's gonna go and sit on them, but from the other direction. And I think that is too much broom for that call. Let's see.
This too heavy?
I don't think the weight's bad, no. No, it's curling more than I thought it would, so it's curling a lot. And it's light. So unless she wanted a guard, which is possible that she wants a guard so she can sit something behind it, but I think it was light, and what she probably wanted was to come in deeper.
Did she get a biter?
Yeah, she did, but it doesn't matter. It's never going to count.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes biters really matter. In this instance, it doesn't, because somebody's going to get one, and it's not going to be that one. And all that matters is that one. If they get 5 or 6, it doesn't matter.
What is Diane calling?
What is Diane calling for? She is probably drawing behind that guard. And it's light also, so they're going to get another guard, which, since they're shot rock, is not a bad thing. Okay, they're putting in a little bit. What?
You know who they are.
I sure do. Kitty's collecting the names. Kitty says, you know their names. Well, actually, I don't. I know Maggie's name. I don't know her team's name. Let's see if we have any more messages. Christina Blaze says she likes this one. Good. Yeah, because you can see who's shooting and when they're shooting.
The names down from the screen already.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Mora is hitting the red into. Was that wasn't Mora just throwing? That was the other team. I looked up and saw Mora going. Okay, so now red is sitting 1.
I don't know what they did.
They ran. What did they do?
Well, they can advance their own guys in if they want to.
Well, I know before that shot, I wasn't actually looking at it because I was distracted. Diane had 1 rock, and they managed to get it out and keep their own there. So whatever it was pretty impressive. Did you see it? You saw it happen, didn't you?
Who's second rock?
The second rock is the yellow up front.
I think they're the same.
The same as what? This one's the second rock.
Okay. But look at the red rock.
Yeah, but look at it out there. It's definitely not even touching the white. The yellow's touching the white, and the red is not. So Diane is number 2, but number 2 doesn't count in this game. Doesn't matter. It's all at.
Diane is not number 2.
Diane is number 2, right? Oh, no. Sorry, Diane's red. Sorry, Diane's number 1, and I got confused for a sec. Diane's number 1, Maggie's number 2. Okay, so Diane had a rock out here, and then she hit that rock, but didn't. I don't even know what happened in that shot. I missed it.
Yellow came.
And it must have hit Diane's rock, because Diane had a rock out here.
The red rock knocked the yellow rock out that was in. It wasn't the closest rock anyway, so it didn't count.
It didn't count, but what she did was she hit the red rock into the yellow rock and took it out. That yellow rock was backing Diane's red rock.
So now
It was useful to Diane.
Now the red rock can be taken out.
Now the red rock could be taken out. So for instance, let's say Diane hogs her rock or does nothing or just misses completely. Then Maggie could send that front yellow back into hers, and it has no backing, so it'll just go out. And again, since Maggie has hammer, that's it. So Diane's gonna try to remove this rock.
She'll try to remove the yellow rock.
I think so. That looks like what the broom is asking for. Although sometimes in curling, well, never mind. If Diane doesn't get the angle right on this hit, it's gonna jam on the back, and then Maggie will be sitting 1, and she'll be able to. Let's see. How many rocks does Maggie have left? Maggie has 2 rocks left.
Who has hammer?
Maggie has hammer. Yeah.
Is this Diane's first rock she's throwing?
Yes, it's Diane's first rock. And she's going to try to hit and stay.
There's 4 rocks left to go.
But I was saying if she hits it a little bit on the outside, then she's just going to take out her counter in the back. So that's the danger.
What's her best thing to do, just to put guards up all over the place?
That would be one option. But even if she did that, Maggie could still draw and count because she's not that close to the button.
She's going to hit the yellow one. She's going to hit it on the side to knock it out.
Oh, she just missed it, and she knocked her own out, and no good. Yeah, that was definitely the worst case.
Now Maggie's sitting 1, right?
Maggie is sitting 1, yes.
Maggie's sitting 1, but not 2.
She doesn't need to sit 2, she just needs to sit 1. But if she goes and she sits 2, Diane can't take both of them out, and then the game's over.
So is Maggie better off coming in this way?
Yes.
Coming in this way and not messing with her?
Yeah, and she wants it to sit up front because she doesn't want Diane to be able to hit it and count.
Right.
If she sits this just right, then Diane won't be able to do much of anything.
Well, she could come in between the 2 yellow ones, but that'd be really hard.
It would be hard to squeeze between the 2 yellow ones. She'd have to draw well and be guarded and have them not be able to hit her out or promote their own.
Not a good rocket.
That was worst case probably. You know, even if she had hit their yellow and I don't know. I don't know if it could have had a worse outcome. Okay. So Maggie should be able to make this draw. If she doesn't make the draw, if she comes up light, then she still has another opportunity because she still has another rock. Diane can hit her shot rock out, but she's got 2 chances. Looks like...
Even if she hits her own yellow, she advances it, right?
Yep. That would work. I think that might... I'm not sure why they're not sweeping. Oh, that's good. Okay. It's a little heavy.
But still.
But right now, what Diane's best option is to draw down to that rock, to do the exact same shot, sit on their rock, and then she'd force Maggie to make a perfect draw on her hammer.
Right.
It looks like Diane's trying to go for a hit off her own rock, though, which is really strange.
So that was not a bad shot for Maggie.
It's possible that Diane doesn't know draw weight.
What?
I don't know. I'm confused because maybe she's just saying that that's an op. She was touching the rock on that side, which to me says that she's saying, I'd like to hit that rock on the inside and then roll over. But I think that...
Isn't she better just drawing down to the button and sitting right in front of the yellow rock?
So the problem with that strategy is she knows that... I just said it was a good idea, but problem with that is that she knows Maggie's a good drawer, and Maggie can just come draw on her, and that means Maggie wins. If she makes this funny thing that she's doing, but Maggie could make a mistake, but
now this is a little heavy.
It's not heavy for what she's trying to do. Actually, no, this is a draw. Okay. It looked like she was talking about scraping her rock on the inside, but it is a draw.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
She's going to be right in front of the...
And she is going to come down to that rock.
She's backed up.
She's backed up. Problem is she's left pretty much, because that yellow rock was so far back, she's left most of the button free. So Maggie just has to make a good draw.
Maggie has to shoot a perfect shot.
Right. So it's possible that Diane, seeing that that was going to happen, you know, beforehand, was talking about, well, what if I rubbed the rock and then bounced over behind cover? But I mean, that would be like really unlikely to.
This is the last shot of the game, and Maggie has to be perfect to make it work, right?
Not that perfect. She just has to get inside that blue ring, dark blue ring.
Shoots it light.
But she just made the shot, so all she has to do is make the exact same shot that she just made. She's very unlikely to be that much lighter or that much heavier. because people in the warm room are saying it's too heavy. And if that's true, then Diane wins. But I don't know.
If it glances off the yellow one, it's also bad too.
And it is too heavy. So she just missed, and Diane wins the C event.
Wow,
Yep.
that's not a Maggie shot.
Well, it's tough. I mean, she just made the shot, so I really expected that she'd just be able to make that shot again.
Okay, so that's why.
Again, high pressure shot.
You still putting it in at the factory at the Big G?
I am, yeah.
There you go.
Still working a G.
Get my stock up.
That's what he always says to me.
You know, some retired guys, we gotta have you work for us.
That's right. All right, this is Elizabeth Brown signing off at the Crystal Snowflake. Again, the winners in this final were the B event, Green Mountain versus Cape Cod. In the C event, Diane Muldowney just won in the last rock over Philadelphia. And in the A event, Norfolk won over Nutmeg. Signing off.